Hello everyone. Under this video series of modern history, this is our second video regarding first chapter of modern history, our syllabus. And if you all have gone through the first video, you must be aware that we are discussing the time phase between 1707 to 1857. Look, this 150 years in Indian history consist of many ups and downs. So ultimately this will become the lengthiest chapter. First chapter will be very lengthy. So what we have done, that we have classified this chapter under several headings. So our first motto is to understand as to what were the major political shifting in Indian history during this time period of 1707 to 1857. In first video we have discussed the classification of this time phase, and we have discussed that we can understand this time phase under three headings. First is the decline of the Mughal Empire, second is the rise of autonomous state, and third is the rise of British supremacy in India. So under first heading, which is decline of the Mughal Empire, we are discussing what were the major factors behind ultimate downfall of the Mughal Empire. Look, one factor cannot be held responsible for the downfall of Mughal Empire. It can be summarized under various headings. So first factor, which was the internal conflict of the latter Mughal. The war of succession which took place among the latter Mughal king was the first and ultimate reason behind the downfall of the Mughal Empire. And there are other connected factors responsible behind downfall of Mughal Empire. So today we will discuss about what were those factors, internal as well as external, under point wise format for our better understanding over this concept. We will also include the discussion as what various authors of many history books have their idea as what they feel about what was the ultimate reason behind the downfall of the Mughal Empire. So initiating today's discussion, we have in our in first video discussed in brief that two invasion, first from Nadir Shah and second from Ahmad Shah Abdali, second the Mughal route completely in India, and these invasion put a very drastic effect upon the latter Mughal king, which ultimately reduced their impact over Indian administration. As you all know that Mughal Empire was a big area. It was covered including the area from not only India but also present Pakistan, Afghanistan, and even reached to the Kabul. So area was big. Latter Mughal king suddenly become less influential, hence their control over the farthest area continuously decreased. Boundaries were left open for invasion, and taking the advantage from these weaknesses, first invader which arrived from Iran was Nadir Shah. From exam point of view, keep this point in mind that Nadir Shah made his invasion in India in year 1739. Though in various books it will be it is written Nadir Shah initiated this invasion in the last of 1738 and ultimately invaded Delhi in 1739. So 1738 to 1739 is the time when India faced the invasion of Nadir Shah. Nadir Shah invasion initiated in 1738 and northwest frontier was captured by him. Okay. After capturing northwest frontier, Nadir Shah moved toward Delhi, and in 1739, before invading Delhi, he challenged Mughal authority and Battle of Karnal took place in year 1739, in which Mughal were defeated, and Nadir Shah took two important property from Mughal court. First, the famous Peacock throne, and second, Kohinoor diamond. Historians claim that this invasion of Delhi in year 1739 took away property of 70 crore from Mughal court. 70 crore, 70. So, this ultimate invasion exposed the latter Mughals that they are internally very weak, and the moment this factor was exposed, there were other players waiting to grab this opportunity, to utilize this opportunity to establish their dominance in major area of India. And two major players who enjoyed this exposition, who enjoyed this weakness, were first the Maratha and the second were the British itself, who ultimately starts to ignore Mughal authority and slowly and steadily starts to establish themselves under Indian administration. So, Nadir Shah invasion exposed the latter Mughal completely, and Maratha and British established themselves as the major political unit. Maratha enjoyed this initial benefit to the largest, and British starts to dream big that yes, days are coming when they will one day establish themselves as major political unit. One of the impact of Nadir Shah invasion was that northwest area of India of that time was now left open for foreigners, and later Mughals also never shown any keen interest to strengthen their army there, and when it was taken away by Nadir Shah, they never show any interest to take that back to their original part. So, Nadir Shah invasion was the first region of its kind which exposes the internal weakness of later Mughal ruler. After Nadir Shah, another foreigner who invaded India was Ahmad Shah Abdali. Nadir Shah, after returning to Iran, was assassinated in 1748 because of certain internal disturbance, ग्रीडीनेस कि मैं अब अधिकारी बनूंगा, इसको हटाओ, तो ऐसी लड़ाई मतलब कि लुटेरों के बीच में चलती रहती थी. नादिर शाह का assassination and Ahmad Shah Abdali established himself as the king of Afghanistan. Once he established himself as king of Afghanistan, he had this perception that India has the good amount of property, wealth, so it will be better place for invasion. And we have discussed in our first video that Ahmad Shah Abdali made several invasion to India. Once he became king, keep this point in mind also, this is very important from exam point of view. Once Ahmad Shah Abdali became the king of the Afghanistan, he assumed the title of Dur-e-Durani, means pearl of pearls, मोतियों के बीच का मोती. First invasion of Ahmad Shah Abdali took place in year 1748, and at that time Mughal king was Muhammad Shah. From 1748 to 1767, Ahmad Shah Abdali made total of 7 invasions to India. And 1749, in the continuous series of invasion, he in 1749 invaded Punjab, and at that time Moin ul Mulk was the governor of Punjab, and Punjab was taken under control of Abdali. In 1752, third invasion of Abdali took place, in which Punjab and Multan was offered to him. He didn't want those areas, but Punjab and Multan were offered to him as a gift, so that he could not bring many devastating effect. कि अगर भाई एरिया लेने आ रहे हो तो लड़ाई मारपीट मत करो, ले लो एरिया, कोई मतलब नहीं है. तो कोई ऐसा मतलब कि फोर्स यूज नहीं किया गया इस साइड से कि भाई अगर तुम पंजाब का एरिया ले रहे हो तो हमको कोई आपत्ति है, क्योंकि मुगल्स पावर was continuously deteriorating by that time. In 1756, fourth invasion of Abdali took place, and this invasion allowed Abdali to enter inside Delhi, and this invasion of Abdali completely plundered Mathura and area of Agra. बिकॉज वो तो इन्वेडर था, तो उसको तो मतलब कि प्रॉपर्टी लूटना है, तो लूटने के क्रम में दिल्ली में तो कुछ बचा नहीं, नादिर शाह सब लूट के गए हुए हैं. तो अब एरिया जो बचा लूटने के लिए, तो वो कल्चरल रिच एरिया थे, मथुरा और आगरा, और दोनों एरिया को अब्दाली ने इन्वेड किया और प्रॉपर्टी बहुत ज़्यादा डिस्ट्रॉय की. इन 1759 another invasion took place, and this invasion was more influenced by to take revenge from Maratha. In 1761, Abdali defeated Maratha in third battle of Panipat, and this battle of Panipat was like one of the influential battle which reduces the Indian political heroes' impact from administration. And one of the impact of these invasion was Mughal Empire had ceased to exist in practice as an all India empire. By 1761, Abdali in third battle of Panipat defeated Maratha. So this invasion reduced another solid political hero of India, and this invasion of 1761 made this point very clear that Mughal are now no more the ruler of all India. They were reduced to certain area only. So these two external invasions in the name of Nadir Shah and Ahmad Shah Abdali are also responsible behind the ultimate downfall of Mughal Empire. So in the initial discussion we have discussed that there are not one single region responsible for the decline of Mughal Empire. So for the better understanding of this issue, what historians have did that they classified this topic of discussion under two headings. And downfall of Mughal Empire can be discussed under two headings, like first is internal weakness and second is external challenges and their impact. As far as internal weakness is concerned, there were so many regions, and one of first of its kind was Aurangzeb's misguided policy. Aurangzeb's misguided policy was like first was religious intolerance. He disturbed the relation with Rajput, Sikh, Jats and Maratha, and because of this disturbed relation, all became rebel against Mughal. Another issue was Aurangzeb policy was continuous war in Deccan area against Maratha drained the resources of empire completely, and Mughals starts to lose their feet from ground because of these policies. So first internal issue behind downfall of Mughal empire was misguided policy of Aurangzeb. Second point, if referred, is weak successor of the Mughal in later Mughal phase. After Aurangzeb, there was no any influential Mughal king. All were weak and incapable to rule, and because of their weakness, role of noble of court become more important, and every noble of the court enjoyed this opportunity to fulfill their own interest, and as a result of which impact of Mughal rule starts to deteriorate. Third point is war of succession and role of kingmaker. Linked with point 2, third point is war of succession and role of kingmaker. This factor weakened the stability of Mughal government and fostered partnership at the cost of patriotism. वॉर ऑफ सक्सेशन जब स्टार्ट होता है तो हर कोई राजा बनने के क्रम में नेशनल इंटरेस्ट को इग्नोर करते हुए पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट को प्रेफरेंस देते हैं, जिसकी वजह से एम्पायर का स्टेबिलिटी सबसे ज़्यादा रिड्यूस होता है एंड मुगल्स इम्पैक्ट ओवर इंडियन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कंटिन्यूअसली deteriorated. Fourth point is nature of the Mughal state. This nature of Mughal state was, till Aurangzeb, Mughal state was a composite state. Means कि it was governed from one particular area. From Delhi only, administration was usually under control. But under later Mughal phase, this composite state nature was devastated, and it was classified under governor rule like Deccan, like Maratha, like Punjab and Sindh. So many regional association starts to show their interest to let's have their own independency rather working under Mughal ruler. Fifth point is degeneration of the Mughal nobility. The noble person till the time of Aurangzeb were very loyal to the court, but after the death of Aurangzeb, every noble starts to show their own cunningness. They were willing to establish their own independent estates, and because of this degeneration of the Mughal nobility, Mughal impact over Indian administration starts to deteriorate. Next point is shifting loyalty of the Zamindars. Okay, now Zamindars were no more loyal to the center, and they start to favor the noble of the Mughal ruler, and as a result of which those who will provide maximum benefit will be given support. So Zamindars of that time also shift their loyalty toward certain independent thinker. So this was also one of the reasons why Mughal dynasty starts to deteriorate. Another issue was Jagirdari crisis. Okay. Now next point is military weakness. The one of the biggest empire of that time, when it starts to lose control in the farther area, it was only because the military strength of the Mughal empire continuously starts to deteriorate. And ninth point is empty treasure. द राजकोष जिसको बोला जाता है, उसमें मतलब कि धन लगातार खत्म होते चले गए, जिसके वजह से सेना, आर्मी वेयर नॉट अलाउड टू टेक सैलरी ऑन यूजुअल टाइम, which ultimately create dissatisfaction against the Mughal, and Mughals were facing very much challenging time at that time, and one of the reason that why they starts downfall. Now, and last but not least point is continuous deterioration of empire and rise of regional power. Continuous deterioration of the empire because of all above mentioned problem, empire of the Mughal starts to deteriorate completely, and बड़ा साम्राज्य जब पतन की ओर आता है तो बेसिकली मतलब कि इंडिपेंडेंट स्टेट उभर के सामने में आते हैं, जिसके वजह से इम्पैक्ट मुगल का मतलब कि बिल्कुल मतलब रिड्यूस होने लग जाता है. So these were the internal factor responsible behind downfall of the Mughal Empire. If external factor are to be considered, इस वीडियो में हम लोग एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर केवल पॉइंट वाइज डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि यही आपका मतलब कि अगला टॉपिक बनने जा रहा है. तो एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर हम लोग मतलब ब्रॉडली डिस्कस करेंगे आगे के वीडियो में. अगर एक्सटर्नल चैलेंज को अगर ध्यान में रखा जाए, एक्सटर्नल चैलेंजेस आर टू बी रेफर्ड हेयर. Three main challenges in the form of external challenges came before Mughal authority, later Mughal authority. First was the rise of Maratha. Second, invasion of Irani and Durrani. Irani was Persian ruler Nadir Shah. Durrani was Afghani ruler Ahmad Shah Abdali. And third was advent of European power. Ultimately, modern history will reflect you how a trading unit established themselves as a political unit. So here the third issue of external challenge is advent of the European power. So these are the cluster of points classified under two headings: internal challenges and the external challenges, which were ultimately responsible behind downfall of the Mughal Empire. Now, just to provide solidity to our defense, our argument, what I brought before you is what different author of the modern history believes that what was the ultimate reason behind downfall of the Mughal Empire. So here you will find different name of the author who had some different understanding as what were the ultimate reason behind downfall of the Mughal Empire. William Irwin and Jadunath Sarkar, these two historians had this belief that personal failing of the emperor and greediness of the noble of the court, less influential king and greediness of the noble of the court was the ultimate reason behind the downfall of Mughal Empire. Who said this? William Irwin and Jadunath Sarkar. Another historian, our very own Satish Chand, give credit to Jagirdari crisis. Okay, Satish Chandra made this point that Jagirdari crisis was the ultimate reason behind the downfall of the Mughal Empire. Athar Ali, another historian, made this issue that economic crisis was the major reason behind the downfall of Mughal Empire. Now third historian, Irfan Habib, made this argument that agricultural crisis was the major reason behind downfall of Mughal Empire. Another historian, M.N. Pearson, J.F. Richard and P. Hardy, these are the foreign historians, made this point that Deccan crisis, like continuous battle with Maratha to establish their own superiority, was the major reason why Mughal continuously lost their impact from Indian administration, and this was ultimately the main reason behind downfall of Mughal Empire. Last but not least, another author, Muzaffar Alam and Chetan Singh, made this conclusion that rise of regional power was the ultimate reason behind downfall of Mughal Empire. So what we are concluding from here, that we have plenty of option to choose to decide as to what was the ultimate reason behind downfall of the Mughal Empire. So it will be very conclusive to derive one particular conclusion as what was the single factor behind downfall of this famous dynasty. So overall general accepted view must be discussed, and general accepted view is that economic crisis is given the ultimate blame as to why Mughal lost their impact from Indian administration. However, no single cause can be held responsible which led to the decline of Mughal ruler. It was the combination of factor. आप एक पॉइंट को रिस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं ठहरा सकते कि इस पॉइंट के वजह से बेसिकली मतलब कि मुगल का अल्टीमेट डाउनफॉल हो गया. द डाउनफॉल वाज द कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस, वाज द क्लस्टर ऑफ मैनी पॉइंट्स, जिसमें से आपने अल्टीमेटली इस चीज को ब्लेम किया कि यस, इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी जो लेटर मुगल के द्वारा इनिशिएट किया गया, दैट वाज अल्टीमेटली द सोल रीजन बिहाइंड डाउनफॉल ऑफ द मुगल एम्पायर. बट many historians have framed many points which we have discussed here, and I hope that you all will keep that in point. बाकी जब मतलब ये क्लास स्टार्ट करेंगे तो MCQ जब आपका लिया जाएगा तो उसमें भली भांति पता चल जाएगा कि आपने इन वीडियो से कितना मतलब की लर्निंग लिया है. With the fall of this empire, in the conclusion, with the fall of this empire, few of the Mughal practice remains in existence, and like land revenue system, like punishment system. So few of the practice of Mughals were in existence, accepted by some regional rulers like Maratha, like Deccan, like Hyderabad, like Bengal. And in fact British also recognized the land revenue system. जितने सारे अच्छे पॉइंट थे मुगल के पॉलिसी के, उनको रख करके मुगल के बाकी बचे नवाबों को अथॉरिटी ने केवल पेंशनर बना के छोड़ा, और इस प्रकार से एक डायनेस्टी का इंडिया में अंत हुआ. सो गाइस, in these two lecture we have finished our first portion of chapter 1, that is decline of Mughal Empire. In coming video we will discuss next issue, that is rise of autonomous state, in which we will discuss about how Bengal came in existence, how Hyderabad came in existence, how Maratha, how Mysore, how Punjab and Sindh were established their identity. So these all will be discussed in next chapter. Look, this is the crisis time. I hope you all are staying inside your home. Keep following the guideline of the government. Stay safe. जान है तो जहान है.